So, hello and welcome to LastofAvari's Build Coding live stream. Another part of supposedly QBASIC. This time it's actually QBASIC 4.5 with a compiler, and let me switch it to supposedly what should represent the actual thing is, if it's actually working. Yeah, now it is. Yeah, that's how it looks. And I can say that it runs significantly better on this version, much faster even with the same kind of settings. So yeah, now we have a little enhanced menu. We can queue right from the menu, and actually when you queue from the game, you go to this intersection. So that's nice, and as you can see we have level names, and I've expanded my leveling model. As you can probably see right here, I no longer have those giant sections of levels right here in the code, and that's because I have them stored separately in files. I haven't converted them into like numeric values, so actually these little variables are kind of worthless, because yeah, I can change them, but the levels are actually written in just these characters, so yeah, it doesn't matter too much. But now I have a couple files, and if I load files here, that's just a bunch of examples from QBASIC package, so I'm not really interested in them, but there should be, let me exit, a few files like type, is it DC levels, without any extensions. I'm just using it like that. As you can see, that's level index. Here I have just one number. It says how many levels I should load, and levels are just level 1, 2, 3 and 4, and like that. So if we type level 1, you can see that's part of the level. Obviously it's scrolled because I also have this level's name. As you can see, let's start somewhere, and then player coordinates, Y and X, and then a required amount of stars to get through level gates. That's 24 in this case. So let's get back to basic and load our program, and we can this time actually compile it. Even in standalone application, obviously it will only run in DOS, but still kind of nice. So open and dark crawler, and here is the part somewhere around here. Yeah, now I have a maximum amount of levels, which we read from this file, DC levels. And here in a cycle I'm reading lines of the actual level to the world array, and here I have names and coordinates and stuff like that. And here's all the rest. And I slightly reedited these levels, so they kinda a bit different. Yeah. So now I want to check if everything actually works. Obviously enemies are still not implemented, but I can supposedly do that during this live stream. So let's get the keys. And this one, yeah. The screen is not updating super smoothly, at least for the actual live stream. For me it's actually looking better than for you. But I think I will provide the source code for this little game. Wait a second, it should be happening. Because I haven't got those pieces. Yeah, and I have to reset the amount of keys in between levels. That's another thing that I should do. Actually, because right now you still have keys from the previous level. I haven't thought about that the last time. So let's get some of the stars, but not all of them. Let me see, 8. If actually working, yeah, if this piece, no, it's not. That's a problem. Okay, oh, not okay, but let's see. Level exit if starts more than current level. Let me see right here. Print world, if I can spell it, stars current level, and let's get it like that. Hey, okay, it's terminated, so it's not working really. So I guess I have to print it here, just for debugging purposes. Like, for example, here, if I'm actually typing it in the right place. Okay, just funk off. That's left. No, we don't need left, because at that level it's just always the highest block. Left, right, up, yeah, this one. And as you can see, I have added uppercase varieties, because here in select cases it's just being separated by commas. So level exit, that looks alright, but it's not alright. Yeah, I don't really need to reset stars right here, because it goes through pre-engine section every time. I can just reset it there. I can just copy this. Like that. And maybe copy also current level, if it's correct. It should be correct, because it's pointing towards the right level, but I'm not sure that it reads everything correctly. So if it's not working correctly, it should just let me do this. And we'll get another key, couple stars, 0. Yeah, it should be 0. That's absolutely dumb wrong. Yeah, it's not okay, so let's comment that. So where's our pre-engine? Somewhere around here, yeah, I see. This, and I have to get a player stars equals 0 and player keys equals 0 also. Now it should work better, but only slightly better. Let me see once again. World stars. Okay. Maybe the name of the array is wrong in some place, in some odd place. That can be the case. Yeah, it's being created here. Here's our restart, and we're reading data once again. Oh yeah, of course, I'm an idiot. Should be like that. That's the problem. I'm just not reading to the right part of memory. And now it should actually work. And since I've added this player stars reset right here, I can just remove it from section here. It's not needed. I'll just leave it with level complete bonus, which is 100 points. Like that. And we can remove that. It's no longer needed at all. Yes. Let me check it out. Yeah, just add in score and then go into pre-engine. Not much more. And here as well. Let's save and test it. Now it should actually read everything correctly, and if I just grab a few of them, but not enough. Yeah, now I'm hitting up, but it is not going anywhere and not triggering, because you can't actually go there. It's just like a wall, but when you're pushing yourself towards a level exit block, it should trigger the next level, the load of the next level, if you have enough stars, that is. Yeah, it's fine. and here, and the last bunch of them. Well, not really last, but the last bunch that is on the outskirts of this level. Now I just have to add some sort of AI for this guy, for this little red ant guy, and probably implement traps, so you couldn't shoot really into enemy, but maybe you could place a special block, like a trap block, and if this little red guy will stumble upon it, then he will be killed. Like that sort of stuff. And of course I need more levels, more than 2. And now I can just easily add them, since they're just text files. So yeah, feel free to send me a few levels on LastofAvari at lastofavari.com with dark crawler levels in the topic. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, that's nice. So now I need to actually set coordinates of the enemy, because to track an enemy, to process its actions, I need to know its coords, obviously. And that means that I should go from this window to PSPod, which is a kind of simple multi-tab text editor with syntax highlight. And I have to calculate what the coords are, or for at least 2 levels. Yeah, it's in the description of Instagram. I have this old and kinda crappy, but kinda decent, well, half decent for the money, Canon PowerShot A3300 IS. It has no manual settings, but you can load it with CHDK, which is kinda not really a firmware, but an official extension, which gets you some scripting and extra settings if you want to mess with that. And I have my phone, obviously, which is Asus Zenfone Go model Z something, I don't remember. It's in the Instagram description. It's pretty primitive phone, but you know. So yeah. It's like 11, and it's quote marks, so it's actually one more than that. So it's 11:15. Actually, maybe I have to do it like that. Should be clear. Yeah, if I just put levels coordinates, or my coordinates and the enemy's coordinates just in the same line. Yeah, and here the enemy is at well, when I was thinking about this phone, like in the beginning of 2017, I was going for a couple gigabytes of RAM, then at least 16 gigabytes of internal storage, obviously as a micro SD card support, and removable battery, and well, a decent camera. and not too large diagonal size, because I don't like phones with like 60 inches or something ridiculous like that. So yeah, it's not the amazing phone, but it does internet good, so I don't play games on it that much anyway. 1122, I believe, if it's correct. Yeah, I think it is. And now I can Control F4, which should refresh this cache of DOSBOX. But now I should update. Now I should update level reading. Not procedure, but block. It's kinda just a small little part. I don't have to isolate it into a separate module. So yeah, instead of this, we do that, and instead of this, player, not player, enemy. I don't think it makes sense for such a little level to make more than one enemy. So for now, everything will be like this, and let's do that. And I have to create such a kind of array or structure somewhere over here with enemy. Oh yeah, I have much more primitive phone. It's like it's Qualcomm, but cheap Qualcomm CPU, like with just 1 GHz quad core. I mean, obviously I'm going for something not exactly super expensive, because it's Eastern Europe and it's Belarus, and if you Google like medium or average salary per month in Belarus, it is not very high, and mine, it lies in the low end of the spectrum. So yeah, like pretty much every phone except really cheap ones worth more than I can earn in a single month. So obviously I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it. But one thing that I have spent, kinda even today, a little bit of money, just a few bucks, thanks to our glorious folks in China, that little clone of EasyCap capture device for composite video and stereo audio. It also can do, I believe, S-video, but yeah, I have 0 devices with it. But I have a Famicom clone with like 100 games in it. Unique games, not clones, not duplicates. So I want to potentially play through all of those 104 games while capturing it from a live device. It's not super original, it's just Chinese clone, but yeah, it still could work better, or kinda, with that aura of nostalgia and retro games, more than just like grabbing it from NES emulator. Yeah, probably, maybe. Listen. So it has to be something reliable and probably something that can I'll live through some, you know, falls and throws. Something that is close to a lifespan of Nokia 3310, or am I getting the number correctly? Unkillable phone? And the meme phone? So yeah, now it should work. Hopefully I haven't destroyed. Yeah, it can load, and if it can load, that means that we are getting all data correctly. Or actually, I have, after those coordinates, I have a block with the maximum star amounts. So I want to get through this first level just to check it out if it will advance correctly. And this, and I have a couple of keys, that means that I can spend them right here. I had an idea that could let you trade your points for extra keys if you unknowingly or stupidly wasted your keys on useless doors. Like 200 points for a key with a special key map tethered. Yeah, I've heard about that. About this model, Samsung X cover. So yeah, puzzle level, alright. Now that's good, and we have this in the working state. Obviously, later we should come up with a better way of drawing something for a victory screen, because right now I have just this single line in the info bar or info line, which is not really appropriate. But I'm not sure that I can create an animation in QBASIC. So yeah, maybe we'll think about this later. So let me see. GG, yeah. GG. And I should set up some sort of at least like beeping sounds for like pickups. That's actually not a bad idea, right? What can we have for like this? Can it be adjusted? No, that's just a primitive way, but I think we can use play. Yes, we can use it, but it's kind of complicated for playing various notes. As you can see here, octaves, yeah, that's kinda... Let's use beep for now. Maybe I will come up with something, or just copy-paste someone's already created pieces. I wonder if it's too annoying or not. Yeah, so let's do that. We want that. That's right. Yeah, we can use it. We can check it out. Just on the right side. It's not really working. And what if I will do something else? Like, what's the easiest thing we can play with? We can play with this. Sound. Oh, sound. That's interesting. Frequency and duration. Cycles per second. Is it like kilohertz? And duration is 18 ticks per second. So like maybe a 4 or 6. Maybe it can work. For example, 706. Let me see if this will work. I have no idea how it will sound even. Well, let's go on. Maybe just 2. And something higher pitched, maybe. Oh no, not the right key. Yeah, no, it's kinda. Let's get to this. It was kinda interesting, but let me see once again. So like maybe 2 separate sounds. How about that? Well, beeps, I think all will be slightly annoying. Oh yeah, that's a little bit more interesting. Eventually we can create sounds for all that crap. And maybe we should create also like yeah, subroutines for these sounds, because initially they can become pretty sophisticated, and I don't want to fix 4 different places just to play different sound. So like call play star pickup, right? Or something associated with sound. Sound. Yeah, sound star. Or actually we can create one subroutine for all of it, like play FX, and here I'll just do that. And yeah, let's grab this. And here, somewhere here, edit, new sub, play effects, yeah, correct. FX type. And select case. FX type. Case star. Yeah, like this. And the case else, like default sound. If nothing is right, then we will be playing this. And potentially I want something for like key, case door. Yeah. For example, maybe keys will be slightly higher pitched, like that. And doors will be lower pitched, just a little bit. And now I can all set it up. Yeah. Let's save, by the way. Case key, yeah. Call play FX key. And we will only play this sound. Call play FX door if it's actually opened, and then we could actually like play different sound if you can't unlock the door. But for now, I'll do just that. Let's copy all that to different places. Star, and this is key. And we could set up some sort of tune, not exactly melody, just with this sort of sounds here, maybe. Not that I'm a musician, especially with these sort of tools, but I don't think with any tools I could come up with something decent. Probably not so much. So that's like 3 places, right? Yeah, we should have another one right here. and the final key sound. A little sound engine of sorts, if you can call it an engine, of course, obviously. And let's save. And of course I forgot to create the actual and if and select, I believe. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah, I think I should lower and adjust it more, because right now everything sounds to the same-ish. Let me pick up a couple of these. Yeah, not an amazing masterpiece. No, not the right key. So it should be easier to read with extra spaces, actually. That's the bass sound. Maybe like 350. And 700. Here can be like that, and that means 13, right? Bass sound. Yeah. Well, I guess for now it will do. And then if I want to disable sounds, I can just remove sound data or comment it out of the program. The only question is, should be keys higher pitched than actual stars? Maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. Or maybe we could make this sound slightly longer, but we will collect a lot of stars, so I don't think it should be long, actually. Hey Specky, nice to see you. I've added a few sounds for picking up stars, keys, and getting through doors. And I'll have also added a special block to read levels from files. So now they are easier to edit and easier to add without editing this code even. I'll show you, yeah, it's right here. I'm getting amount of the levels from one file, very simple file with just one number. And somewhere around here we are reading data from those files. As you can see, we are just adding current level that we're reading out of available levels to word level, and that's basically the scheme for file naming for level data, with data for actual level, title, coordinates of the player and of the enemy. Right now, well, I'll try to add basic logic for the enemy, actually. Maybe not necessarily tracking player for now. I want to just make some sort of a bug that will be crawling around, and then we could build something on top of that. Yeah, we need some sort of random number for that, for this basic logic. So AI choice, let's call it that. Maybe not in all capitals. Yeah, or AI select. Equals 7D by 4, and we need something integer or integer, or how does it been pronounced? Yeah, so from 0 to 3, right? And then we could create select case select. And select. Randomized movement. Yeah, let's 1, 2, 3. And what was the order of my movements? Down, up, right, left. Okay, I can do the same here. Like that. And I probably need previous coordinates for our dearest AI as well. So we can technically actually just initialize it right there, because it's basic. You don't have to initialize your variables in the beginning, like in Pascal, for example, or Delphi, which is based upon Pascal. But still, I want to be able to track all the necessary data. So enemy xOld equals enemy x and enemy yold equals enemy y. Well, welcome Space Honey Pie. That's QBASIC, which is basic for DOS by Microsoft. This version is QBASIC 4.5. You can compile programs into executable files. And we are making an ASCII game. Well, I'm making some sort of game. For my own amusement, and maybe yours. At the moment, it looks like that. We have this character that is currently moving, and to win the game, to beat the game, we have to collect stars, and to get through these doors, which are marked with D's, we need to collect keys, which are lowercase key, K, and now we can get through the door. And those capital L's are level exits. If you have enough stars, in this case we should collect all of them, which is 24. You can pass to the next level, and eventually I could add quite a bit of levels, and right now I'm working on adding some sort of AI, so that block, this red end symbol, could eventually move and maybe even track the player. Those are not complicated sound effects, but I'm not a musician. I couldn't build for my life decent sound even with the good tools, and these are not good tools. I will show you in a second. Yeah, now we have 24 stars. And we can get to the next level. Initially I was making this in QBASIC for MS-DOS, which is shipped with MS-DOS, which is basically a cut down version without compiler, and this version is actually the proper QBASIC, works quite a bit faster. And you can obviously compile the program, so I switched to this. That's DOSBOX, so if you see a little bit of screen tearing or lag, that's just DOSBOX plus OBS. Obviously it works better if you just launch it from your own computer. And here you can see the source code. I have a few subroutines. For example, this is my little, well, not really sound engine, but I'm using it for playing sounds, and that's very simple. That's sound frequency, and that's its length, which is kinda weird. So yeah, you can see here. Basically, it's ticks. Duration is measured in ticks, and roughly 18.2 ticks per second is the amount of that sort of stuff. Yeah, now I should switch to main program. I think I will make a source code available so you could run it too. Just copy it then into a QBASIC folder, every file. It will be including this basic file and then a few other files with level data and stuff like that. They should be in the same folder. So here we're currently implementing some stuff, not all stuff, right? I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not really setting all the stuff. I should modify this with extra block, because now I want to add an enemy, and I should initialize enemy coords. Okay, so select case. I want to make it turn-based, but in order to make it turn-based I should move this section, right? Or maybe I even want to isolate it into a subroutine. Well, I have Windows 7 right now on this computer. I'm just running QBASIC in DOSBOX, which is basically DOS emulator. But if you have QBASIC and if you have Windows XP or lower version, you could actually run QBASIC in Windows, because up to Windows XP it has integrated virtual DOS machine. It's not amazing, but it should run QBASIC at least. I was doing that years ago. Like maybe, I don't know, 10 years? These days I'm mostly playing stuff for my YouTube channel. But for now, just let's make it move. And to make it move, we should do that, right? Basically, we're going to base it upon this structure. Yeah, we need to read the screen for that. But instead of the player, it should be enemy. Actually, I could just copy it, most of that, and then edit it. Maybe it could work, because it's like a pretty decent chunk of data to just rewrite it from scratch. Obviously, we need only a portion of this logic. We don't need all of it. Like, we don't pick up keys with enemy, we don't pick up stars, we're mostly just doing this. And maybe something else as well, but for now just this. So I have this part here. Yeah, and now we have to... I don't want to constantly scroll up to there, so maybe I can do that easily enough with just doing that. So that's up. Up means -1. Wait a second. That's X. That's not right. I want down, so we need this. Actually, and we'll fix this as well. Yeah. And now switch back to X. And right is plus, and this is probably minus, right? And fix it here. And let me check out how it goes right here. Yeah, we can just copy all this block. And select, yeah, after select, we should do that. Obviously, enemy has its own color. And print an enemy right here, and switching all the stuff here. So maybe it will be slightly faster doing that. Obviously, I'm constantly doing stupid mistakes, so it will probably not run correctly from the first try. Let me see. Oh yeah, this guy went somewhere absolutely crazily. So get me a piece of this. I just want to print somewhere in a visible place coordinates. Oh. Excellent. Yeah, it should be alright. Enemy X, right? No. And now this. Uh, 26, 21. Yeah, it went out of screen. It shouldn't be able to go there actually, since it should only go if it's if it's empty space, right? Like here, we're reading the character and translating it into actual graphic representation of that character, because here with screen function we're only getting the code of such character. Let me see pre-engine section once again. It's starting in a decent place. And it's reading everything correctly. I could see that it started where it's supposed to start, but it just went through the object it wasn't supposed to go through. So current coordinates are becoming old coordinates, and then to the current coordinates we are making the change, particularly down. Can I isolate it in a good way? What kind of data I need? It could be easier to check if it was step-by-step based. So control insert and make it cool. Enemy AI for now, without any sort of data. We will share necessary variables, I think. Edit new sub. Okay, and do that. What kind of stuff I need? Well, yeah, probably shared enemy x old, shared enemy y old, shared enemy x, shared enemy y. Maybe I have to get it in the better, yeah, like that, because in locate it goes the other way around. Do I need anything else? No, I don't think so. Everything else is being analyzed just on screen, so it shouldn't be a problem. And instead of that, instead of all that, we don't actually need all this crap. We could just put it somewhere here. Regardless of the result, right? So first we are doing something, and then, so it's in the end, call enemy AI like this. Let me see how it will work. Yeah, wrong button. It's not drawing correctly. I can see that it's not. Yeah, I know why. Because I need actual shared enemy. How's it called? Enemy and enemy color. Now it should be more visible. Wait a second. So it eventually can pass down. Yeah. That's really strange. Shouldn't be able to even do that. Yeah, here. Maybe it's sometimes doing that 2 times in a row before it prints itself. It was the problem before with the player jumping over one position, but that was because I was using ifs before. And here I have all case selects instead of that. Oh yeah, I see incorrect stuff. Here it should be minus. I think that's actually it. And I want to be able to store direction of previous movement. So like it wouldn't go in exactly opposite direction right after. For example, it shouldn't go left, right, if it can go in some other place. So it shouldn't be just sticking to one point, basically. Yeah, let's do that. Shared, I select old. That's kind of descriptive name, right? Yeah, add it here probably. I select old. I select for example here. And select. Let me see. Right now it shouldn't be passing through this stuff. Yeah. It looks ridiculous, but it works. The only problem is that probably I don't have correct coordinates, right? Let me try to track it. So it's like the first level. Why is it moving like that? So it spawns not in the right place. It's kinda shifted. Let me check out this. Oh, it starts. That's why. And that means that I have to do that. And here it can be just one for the first level. $11.22, right. So it's kinda correct, just not outputting in the right place for some weird reason. Let me go to pre-engine. Yeah, it's current level. It's world enemy start. Maybe let me have it here, like locate, I don't know, like that. Right in runtime. and 2. Yeah, I tried it correctly. It just spawns in the weird place. Should also have current coordinates. Like this. No, not like this. I have to remove that and this. Are they not being synchronized or something? Enemy Y. It was working before just like this. With other stuff that I shared. Do I have enemy? Maybe that's a problem. Yeah, I think I will move it slightly. Well, it's looking mostly the same, but now I have more stuff working. Spiky. I should move it, this debug info to actual interface section. It makes more sense. So like 25, right? Let me calculate it manually. That's 22, 23, 24, 25. It's not 25. Or at least it shouldn't be. Right? That's actually 20. And start. Yeah, that's the problem. Let me check it out here. I'm doing incorrect. Yeah, right, exactly. Start coordinates are screwed up. I'm doing the opposite of what I should have been doing. And that means that I have to do this, supposedly. Yeah. So let's save these levels. Let's hit Ctrl F4 to refresh the cache. Now we'll restart the program, and now should be actually, oh yeah, it should be actually crashing. I don't quite see why. Illegal function call. What's up with functions? Why is it illegal? It just prints space. Yeah, I think it oh, yeah, I maybe know what's wrong. Yeah, and now I have to set it to enemy old and here, because right now it's like 0. And that's not right. If I do that, and by the way, I should potentially do the same for player. Okay, I should restart it. Well, what's now? Okay. So let's check it out. Zero zero. No, it shouldn't be 00, obviously. Yeah, here it's quite useless. In fact, it should be set in pre-engine section. Yeah, there. So we're reading data and reading it here as well. Are you planning to make a Pi stream? What do you mean Pi stream? Raspberry Pi? I don't have any sort of devices to properly capture it. And I don't have any sort of HDMI capture to just record it from Raspberry Pi itself, or to capture a footage from my camcorder that can output signal in through HDMI port. And I have the cable mini HDMI to proper HDMI, but I don't have any devices for that, so no, I can't stream Raspberry Pi, if you are talking about that, Specky. Yeah, it looks like it fails to set proper coords. It's 00 for whatever weird reason. but I'm basically reading it right here. Like start positions. And it's extra data that's not being actually used, because that's just current data. Here's current level equals 1, right? Yeah, and here it is being written. Let me pause it right here. Just try to print it. Because I don't really see why it is doing its thing right like that. That should have been passed. But there's 0. That's a problem. I see that the name of the level is correct, so it read that. The start coordinates are not being passed, probably, but I'm not sure why. If that's so, because they were working before. And when we are at it, how about typing, no, not this, current level data. Yeah, we have to restart it once again. So we have our current level data. We have even start coordinates, but for some funked up reason they're not being written to actual coordinates. Well, that's at least something. World player start and world enemy start. Let's try to copy it right where it is being read, right? Yeah, I have the info, but I don't know why it's not being just written to it. It just stays 0, 0. Current level 1. Oh, maybe that's why. Hey, Yohor. I don't know, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. No, I actually was going to do a different thing. I think that could be the problem. If our old coordinates are not correct. Oh yeah, of course. I'm doing that the other way around. I should be doing. What I should have been actually doing is in this. Chat is not really useful, but it doesn't have to be, right? Yeah, it could save me, you know, like 20 minutes of funking around, but I guess I just did it myself. Of course it's not correct, because I'm not setting it correctly. So I probably have to make some sort of description of my work for our latest viewer, which is QBASIC, and that's a QBASIC. Maybe you're familiar with it. I am running it in DOSBOX and capturing with OBS. Now I can remove this. And that's my little, not really dungeon crawler, it's called dark crawler. You basically collect stars and unlocking doors and pass into the next level. As you can see, I'm using files for the actual levels, so I can extend them eventually. Right now I just have 2 levels to test feature of passing from level to level. Let me, oh, no, not this. And I'm trying to work on basic AI for enemies, or one enemy. Oh yeah, now this guy is actually doing the same. He's not dangerous yet. But eventually he will be. Right now he's just randomly moving. And you can see it, by the way, I have to disable or maybe even delete that coordinate output. I don't really need it anymore. Maybe comment it. Well, some sort of dungeon crawler, or just pick up stuff. You have to pick up enough stars to pass through the level. Those L marks, as you can see here, here is basic description. You pick up stars to access some stars. You have to, not right. You have to get through doors, and you can only unlock or destroy doors if you have keys. These are the keys, yellow K symbols, and you have to spend the key to destroy a door. In this case we have to get 24 stars. And these are simple, very simple sounds, which are not really pleasant, but I guess they're not too terrible. Because it's kind of hard to make something decent in QBASIC, especially since I lack any musical skills. And right now we have 22 stars, and I believe 24 stars are required, so we can't pass right now while I'm heating up. But if we get to more, here's the next level. Each level has some data, which is level data, obviously. It's being colored depending on the object. It's defined in the program what colors are supposed to represent which symbols or objects. like blue for stars and kind of light gray for doors, bright white for our player, and the level exit, which is L, which is basically not a door but a trigger. If you will try to hit it, and if you have enough stars, you will pass to the next level. If you don't have enough stars, nothing will happen except the enemy will move. Right now enemy just wandering around, because I have this little section. As you can see, we're defining random direction, that's from 0 to 4, and then moving to an empty space. And I probably want to have player coordinates as well, to later be able to track it potentially. I wouldn't call it an adventure, since there is no plot, no storyline, and the world is tiny. It's just simple, kind of arcade-based, turn-based game of some sort. No, the other way around, probably. Yeah, that's kind of complicated. Can I compare it just by like what is yeah, batch files. I've heard some people were making real like programs or games in batch files, but obviously they lack a lot of functions. Maybe it's mod. What are the math operators here? No, that's not correct. Can I just have a list like of different math operators? Not really. I don't think. Maybe this? No. Maybe I'll have better luck with this. Oh yeah, that's what I need. Probably like 8 or actually let's first check for consistency's sake. Let's first check why. And then something, and if it's not working, then else do hold this thing, and if, and now we have push everything, so I could do everything correctly and much more visually. What's the case here? I don't quite see. I guess it's okay. Actually, it's not looking badly. I don't need to do that. Yeah. So now it should be doing nothing if it's close to us. So it's not doing anything, but if we will go away, now it should maybe do something. Oh yeah, it's OR. That's a problem. Maybe it should be AND, actually, right? Because with our sort of level, yeah, it makes more sense. No, not hitting the right key once again, and yeah. Yeah, now it's frozen, and if we get out, it's no longer frozen. Well, that's something. I'm not sure that I have more stamina to actually do something more sensible. But at least, at the very least, we should add some a little bit more of basic stuff, right? So we shouldn't be able to get through the enemy. It just has no sense. Like case enemy and player rise equals player lives -1, if player lives equals or less than 0, then go to, well, for now cute, or maybe like cute fail. And since we are not really, yeah, we don't have to do anything with coordinates, I will just copy it to other places. And let's set up cute fail. And actually we now have a call print mid 2215 for now just 8. Maybe actually like 3. Is it red? I don't remember. Doesn't matter at this point. Is it print mid? Yes, it is. And go to restart probably. And now we have to set up lives, right? Because we don't have any at the moment, and I have to set up lives indication somewhere. I don't really have free space for that. We can just have one life for now. Player lives. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to set it up here. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. So right now, yeah, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Except you can't see really that message, but that doesn't matter for the moment. So that's BASIC Probably I will do more of this in offline mode, because it's really a lot of funking around, and I believe probably will take more than a couple hours to make something sensible. Who knows? And I want to make more levels, which are 40 by 20 like rectangles you can see here. Oh no, not if I key it constantly. So level is 40 by 20. You can use sharp signs for walls, D for doors, K, lowercase k for keys, stars for stars, and it also has player coordinates, and then you have enemy coordinates, Y and X. So you can create your own levels in level files. If you want to create them, you can send them to me at LastofAvari, at LastofAvari.com. Yeah, let me type it in here. Like that. That's my email, powered by Yandex for domain, which is, by the way, free. You can set up your own email in Google on your own domain, but that requires a monthly fee for their applications, because you can't have just that separate feature, as far as I know. So I went with Yandex, which is basically Russian Google, or they're pretending to be. Quite popular in Russia, and yeah, their service for that sort of stuff is free, which is nice, because just provider mail, your hoster webmail is most of the time quite crappy without decent spam filter, so I can recommend that if you're interested. And in the end of this live stream, I believe I can show you actually one other thing that I've done in the old days in Blitz 3D, which is some sort of basic-ish thing with absolutely terrible development environment, even worse than Visual Basic or QBASIC, even, in my opinion. But it should work, I think, and I will Google the link where you can actually download it if you want. I should check if I have it in the archive file. Yeah, I do have. You can download these examples from here in the news section I don't have the source code right now, but I do have a bunch of other stuff, mostly in Blitz 3D and one thing in VisualBasic.NET plus XNA framework. It's not finished, but you could see where I was going to. So let me save that. That's all we'll do for now. And let me switch. And let me think about it. Can I like capture it properly? I'm not sure. Probably it's much easier to just add window capture for that. And yeah, I believe it's that. I'm not sure if I have oh yeah, here. And obviously music is not exactly mine, but it's old enough so it shouldn't be flagged. Can I even... well, it doesn't show in this window, funnily enough. Oh yeah, now it does. Yeah. Here. It's really old and really primitive, but you can see that everything is made from primitives, like boxes. Just really a lot of boxes and a couple cameras, so you could have different perspectives. And now I believe, if I remember correctly, I have to hit this. So greetings to some old folks. The music is probably too loud, but you are not missing much. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Maybe we'll set up something else. Yeah, about the XNA stuff. If you was watching the first live stream with the first part of my development, you was already seeing that sort of stuff, but let me grab this and no, not really. Okay. Maybe remove. Where it is? Yeah, this. Let me know if you can see it, because I have only one monitor, and maybe if you can't see it right now, that's like really primitive labyrinth walker. But it's different, because here we can actually have levels that are built in a different way. You can see that it has this little primitive graphics, and all sprites are made by me. That's why they are so, yeah, that's why they are so mediocre and kind of crappy, but we can have levels that are more than one screen wide, and you can see that I have couple screens, and this party fight is not really working because yeah, I couldn't get it to work. So mostly I have just a few broken source files, but you can look into this if you want. XNA is not really an engine, it's just some framework which provides a few tools to get your sprites and stuff like that, but it's not really that useful or amazing. But I was doing this sort of stuff with moving around, and basically everything is matrix. Obviously I'm not analyzing what's happening on screen, I just have a few arrays with numbers that represent these sprite codes, and analyzing not some screen data but actual array data. So logically it's quite primitive. And you can load all this stuff from that link on my website. It hosted, the archive is hosted on Mediafire file exchange service. So I don't want to use my actual bandwidth on my website because it's just cheap web hosting. And it can potentially run out of data per month, and the archive is like below 50 megabytes, so should be fine. But yeah, that was me with some sort of coding in QBASIC, and I will probably update that link with this file, so you could run my little QBASIC program from your own computer. You will need QBASIC or QB64, which is a Windows compatible kind of sort of inspired version, not affiliated with Microsoft, but should be compatible, yeah, in most ways. So then you could copy all basic files, all that program to one place and run a main file, and I will provide the executables as well. You can follow me on Twitter as well, and I will post the updated link there so you could see it. Here. So thanks for watching, and see you later.